Good morning, students. We are here to discuss something about cluster analysis. Cluster analysis, the name itself suggests it's about clusters. It's about making clusters or groups. Basically, cluster analysis is very important technique in marketing research and very immensely used to make clusters, groups. It's an interdependence technique. Like we have factor analysis, it's an interdependence technique. It's an interdependence technique. What is interdependence technique? In some cases, we have two variables, dependent variable and independent variable. For example, suppose I increase the advertising budget, sales will go up. So sales is dependent on the advertising budget. So we have two variables over here, sales and advertising budget. But in cluster analysis, there is no dependent and independent variables. All the variables are interdependent. So it's known as interdependence technique. The good thing about cluster analysis is that cluster analysis doesn't require any prior knowledge about the groups or the objects or the cluster, what kind of people they are, what they are. Any prior knowledge is not required. We can design the instrument, that is questionnaire, we can collect the data and we can go for cluster analysis. Whether as discriminant analysis, which is also used for segmentation like cluster analysis, but discriminant analysis requires prior knowledge about the people, the groups. This is not the case in cluster analysis. Basically, cluster analysis technique is used to classify objects or cases in relatively homogeneous groups. The objects in one homogeneous group, they are similar to other objects, but they are little bit different from the objects in other groups. It is also known as classification analysis because it is used to classify people into different groups, or you can say different clusters. Let's take an example. There is one ice cream company which is having presence in more than 50 countries and they want to expand their consumer base to other geographies. So how cluster analysis can help the company? Now company, first initially they took the demographic, psychographic and geographic survey of the consumers, of their present customers. That what kind of customers I have in terms of demography, what is their age, gender, income, where they live, urban or rural, occupation, income group, all the demographic characteristics were studied. Geographic, where they stay, as I say, urban, rural, in which part of the country they stay. And psychographic, what is their lifestyle, what they like, what they dislike, what are their activities. So this demographic, psychographic and geographic characteristic of the present consumers were studied. Now this company went to the market where they wanted to expand and they started to collect the data about these three things, demographic, geographic and psychographic variables, and they came up with 40 clusters, 40 different groups of people. Now on one hand, the company is having their own consumers with their demographic, psychographic and geographic data and 40 clusters, 40 different groups of people in the intended customer base or in the intended geography. So they started to compare all the criteria of the present customers to the intended customers, group by one, that which group is similar to my group, which cluster is similar to my consumers. And then when they settled that out of these 40 different clusters, there are 4 to 5 clusters which are similar to my present customers. They will welcome my product and they launch the product in those geographies. This is how cluster analysis can be used by companies to make the segmentation. Where are the other applications of cluster analysis? So the first application I would like to put is about segmentation analysis. Basically, it is classifying the people into different groups on the basis of what kind of benefits they want. So it is also known as classification on the basis of benefits. So what kind of benefits a consumer wants from the product? On the basis of that, consumers can be classified into different groups. There may be some consumers which may be wanted that petrol consumption or maintenance cost is important category. Some consumers may be wanting luxury. Some consumers may be interested in design of the car. So what kind of benefits consumers see or they want to derive from the product, on the basis of that they can be segmented. Second aspect of application is reducing data. So you can, as discussed in the stores example, that they came with 40 different clusters, 40 different groups of people, but finally they settled for 4 to 5 geographies. So they reduce the cost of the company of expanding in those non-relevant clusters. Basically, in cluster analysis, we avoid or we omit the people which are irrelevant for the business. But in factor analysis, we reduce number of questions. In cluster analysis, we reduce number of cases or number of objects. The other application or third application of factor analysis is selecting the test markets. As you can see in the ice cream example, test marketing can be done on the basis of cluster analysis. I can have my own consumers. I can see them, what is their psychography, what they like, what they dislike, what is their demographic characteristics in terms of age, gender, income, occupation, and geography. Now I can have same kind of cities, same kind of clusters where I can test the product. So when it comes to test marketing, whenever you are selecting the cities, cluster analysis can help the company a lot. Next thing is identifying a buying behavior. Now when you say that clusters are made on the basis of certain benefits the people want from a product or from a company. Now you can select one cluster that people, for example, people who are interested in the promotion, sales promotion, that they want certain discounts from the stores, and that's why they visit the stores again and again. Now you can study this cluster which are little bit cautious or conscious about sales promotion or saving money. You can study individual clusters, like if they want certain sales promotion, what is their income level, where they stay, what are their other activities they do in life. Such kind of things you can study each group, each cluster in detail when you do cluster analysis. And the last application is identifying the product opportunities. The companies in one cluster or the brands or the products in one clusters, they are generally competitors of each other. Now suppose there is a cluster of luxurious cars and you have Mercedes-Benz and BMW in that cluster, and they are fighting with each other, they are competing with each other for the market share. So what additional can be given which is desired by the consumers? When you want to find out what additional I want to add in the present product, cluster analysis can definitely help you, because it is trying to relate with consumers' other characteristics with the benefit sort. So this is the fourth application of cluster analysis. As I said, there are 4 applications. First one is segmenting the market. The second one is reducing the data. Third one is it helps in the test marketing. Fourth one is it understanding the buying behavior of the people. And last one is identifying the product opportunities. These are the applications of cluster analysis. Little bit more explanation about cluster analysis. As I said to you, cluster analysis is basically used to group the objects together. This is a very ideal case where you are getting very different clusters, the clusters which are really separate and distinct from each other. You can see that objects in one group or cases in one group, they are similar to each other. That's why they have clustered in one group, and they are little bit, or they are different than the objects in different cluster or different group. As I said, this is a really very ideal situation. You may not get it in practical things. In practically, we get such kind of data where this object, okay, they are spread equally, and it's very difficult to classify it in one of the clusters, because it is the judgment of the person basically in which group they want to add a particular object. As I told you, it's an interdependence technique. There is no dependent and independent variable. It is used to reduce the objects or cases. Analysis. This was a survey done of vacationalists, people who visit other countries for vacation purpose. It was the study was conducted for hundreds of vacationers or people who visit other countries frequently for vacations. And this survey was done on the basis of certain psychographic segmentation. And in psychographic segmentation, they found these are the six different groups of people. First one is psychological benefits they want to get. The second one is educational purpose. These people visit other countries for educational purpose. They want to learn something, they want to do a particular program, learn certain skill, educationalists. The third set of people is social people who want to interact with the society. They want to learn certain culture, tradition, methods, interaction with the society. They go on vacation for social purpose. The next group of people is relaxational, psychological, and aesthetic. So on the basis of these six different psychographic segmentation, cluster analysis was done, and they came up with three major clusters. First cluster is of 52% of people, 52%, very large cluster, but they were labeled as demanders. Now what demanders is, they wanted many benefits at a time. They wanted social also, they wanted educational also, relaxational also. They wanted many things in one vacation. So they were labeled as demanders. Next group of people, they came with educationalists. These people visit, 20% of the people were labeled as educationalists because they visit other countries to learn something, to take certain knowledge. And this is the last group of people which consists of around 26% of people. And these 26% of people were labeled as escapists. They want to escape from something. They want to escape from stress. They have already done their work. Fatigue is there. They want to get rid of fatigue. They want to relax, and that's why they visit other countries. 26%. So three clusters: demanders, educationalists, and escapists, having 26% share, or 26% of the group members. So on the basis of this study, government of Thailand had launched one program to project their country as a country which is meant for relaxation. They projected the country as the country which is abundance of natural beauty. You can come here, you can enjoy the natural beauty, you can relax your mind, and the promotion was successful. And you can see that after that cluster analysis, Thailand, many people have started to go to Thailand for relaxation purpose. This is surely the result of cluster analysis.